Kevin. Welcome to Relationship Ready. Today, we're going to talk about one of the foundational aspects of relationships, relationship with ourselves and relationship with others, of communication. How do I communicate? How do we communicate? How do we get across who we are to other people? And there's a lot of basics of skills, but there's also a foundation of understanding of where we come from and how we get across what we want to say. And we're trained in Western culture and American culture to be different in our gender, be different in our race, be different in our class, and how to do that. The more power you have, the more directive you are in your communication, the less submissive you are. But there's also power differentials in gender and race and everywhere else. And we need to be aware of those and aware of how those impact ourselves enough to be able to, what am I getting across and how am I talking to people? One of the fundamental things that we're going to focus on today is the gender differences. And we are trained, and I'm trained as a man, to be able to do tasks, accomplish things, get things done. We have emotions, and men are just as emotional as women, and non-binary and everything in between. We all have the full range of emotions. How we're taught to communicate them, and how we're expected to communicate them, and how we're shamed and bullied as well as praised for how to communicate them is different in our families, in our culture, in our society, in our race, and our gender. As men, we're trained to get things done more often than not. And as women, we're trained to connect and express and understand how the other feels. The bridge and the foundation is being able to understand how we're trained and how our partner is trained or our friend is trained enough to be able to hear them and hear what they need. So often I hear that in couples relationships, they just don't understand. And there's a really good book, You Just Don't Understand, where we'll post the author or somebody look that up for me. It talks a lot about the difference in the gender stuff. That has much more expertise in the research that comes across in this too. It's a classic, but I'm sure it can be updated for more modern woke times too. But basically the foundation of it is a lot of times cisgender females are trained to be able to connect emotionally. And so when they talk to cisgender males, they're like, they don't get it. And do we get it? Not necessarily. But do we need to work to be able to get it? Yeah. But to be able to get it, a lot of times a female will look for the connection. So instead of responding with problem solving, which is what as a male I've been trained to do, is to go, well, why don't you just do this? Well, what about your coworker who's annoying the hell out of you? Why don't you just not talk to him like that? Well, your kid is being bullied. Walk away from him or punch him in the face. Those are all solutions that we're trained as males to be able to do and to be able to problem solve. But a lot of times that's not what we're looking for, because we actually all have our own solutions. And what we're looking for is to be able to uncover and discover those solutions. In order to do that, in the more traditional Western way in which females are trained, is to be able to listen and feedback and be able to go, wow, that really sucks. Yeah, that was a tough day. Your coworker's a bitch. Boy, it was a rough day at school. That teacher wasn't listening to you. Those are all ways in which we listen and feedback. That's all the basic skills of active listening. And maybe we'll talk more about that, more specifically of breaking that down, because a lot of people screw up in how they active listen. But if you can active listen, then you can work towards being able to empower the person to help fill their own gap of solving their own solutions, figuring out their own feelings, figuring out their own problems that they need to solve, and figuring out how they move forward. Because if we try to solve problems for others, we're usually going to solve them in the way in which we know how to do it. And how we know how to do it may be completely different than your partner, than your friend, than your kid, than whoever you're in a relationship with. because that is the struggle we need to work through and develop skills, skin, tools to be able to problem solve, to function in this world. And one of the ways to do that is develop your own communication skills and identify what those are. Mine are specifically listening intently, feeding back, and then working towards problem solving. Yours? Don't know what they are yet. The more you can identify them and you figure those out, share and discuss those. Throw some notes in here and we'll see what they are. Because we're all different. We're unique human beings, but we all have some foundational things that we need, which is to be heard and to solve our problems. And we do that through positive, supportive communication. So, tell me what you think of this. This is Relationship Ready. In order to be ready, you need some good foundational communication. I'm Kevin Markman. We'll see you next time.